Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jack. It is a pleasure to see you. It's time to read some Reddit stories. Let's get started. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom she's dead to me after expecting me to pay $2,000 for a cruise I'm not going on? I'm 17 male and my mum, 40 female, have had a rocky relationship for the past 4 months because of her relationship with my dad. My dad has never liked me or bonded with me due to him thinking I am an affair baby, even though I'm not. My dad has belittled and controlled me my entire life, and while my mom doesn't agree with it, she doesn't do anything to prevent it. To give you an idea, my family purposefully had their Christmas celebration while I wasn't home. I'm guessing so it wasn't obvious that they didn't get me anything. Meanwhile, they had gotten my brother, 15 male, and sister, 7 female, hundreds of dollars worth of gifts. Honestly, I'm used to this sort of treatment, but when I told some friends, they said it wasn't right. Since I started dating my 18 female girlfriend 5 months ago, my dad has upped the antics, telling me my girlfriend will cheat on me soon, preventing me from seeing her, basically trying to use her as another thing he can control me with. After a bad fight a week ago, my dad personally threatened my girlfriend, and he then took my phone, car, and kicked me out of the house. During the fight, he threatened to call the police on me, threatened to fight me, and was chasing me around the house. I ran down the road, and my mum and sisters got in a car, and we spent the night at a hotel. The next day, though, my mum went back, because I guess she didn't have anywhere else to stay. Since then, I have been staying with my girlfriend and her family, who have been extremely kind and supportive. My mum told me she was going to leave my dad and buy a house within the next couple of weeks. This has been a common conversation for years of her saying she'll leave my dad and never does, so I don't know how much weight it holds. Now to recently. Yesterday, my mum told me she booked our family a week-long cruise. All of us together, including my dad. After some back and forth with my mum of me saying I didn't want to spend a week with my dad, let alone on a cruise ship, she told me if I didn't go, I owed her $2,000, the cost of my ticket. I told my mum I never wanted to speak to her again and that even if she buys a house, I won't be moving back in with her. I don't even know where they are planning on going or when it is, but on the other hand, maybe it could be fun. I have a bad relationship with my dad and brother, and from the looks of it, me and my mum are headed down that path. But I do have a great relationship with my little sister. I know I'm young, so maybe I'm just not seeing the bigger picture. Am I the jerk for not wanting to pay $2,000 for a cruise I didn't even want to go on in the first place? So, you're absolutely not alone to think that this cruise ship is the least of OP's issues going on in their life right now. With the strange fixation OP is focusing on, it's got others to really think in the comments that this might be fake. Saying things like, why haven't you gotten a DNA test? Why didn't your mum get a DNA test? This sounds fake as heck, and it's not both your parents are idiots and your mum is a horrible person for allowing you to be treated like Schmidt by your dad. If you are not an affair baby, why the hell didn't your mum get a DNA test immediately? Now, OP, contrary to the AI accusations, actually goes out of the way to respond to these comments. Yeah, I know it sounds fake. My life has felt like a straight soap opera these last few months. I don't know the whole story with my parents and the cheating. They just yell about fragments and it's hard to put together. I don't even really think my dad believes I'm an affair baby. It's just another thing he wants to use to hurt me or my mum. I look just like him and he even comments about features we share. But anytime he gets mad, he'll bring it up to my mom. Others want to argue that a cruise isn't as much of a nightmare as OP thinks it would be. Go on the cruise, dude. You don't have to hang out with your parents the whole time while on it. There are usually so many activities you can do on cruises that will make you forget about your family. Plus, your cruise is likely all-inclusive, especially if it costs $2,000. So you are the a-hole. Your parents are dicks, but they're not abusing you. If they're willing to cough up $2,000 for your butt to join the cruise, they have some care for you. I still went on my family vacations despite any heated confrontations prior and on vacation. It's literally a free cruise. Just don't hang out with them while on it. But there are some that seem to care while also giving some warning to OP. Setting boundaries with your mum and dad is not the a-hole. He's crazy and she's dysfunctionally enabling him. You do not owe her $2,000. She didn't ask you beforehand, and being trapped on a ship with your parents doesn't sound like a good time. But be careful about your relationship with your siblings, though. You need to make it clear that you still care for and want a relationship with them, but you just can't live at home anymore because of the way your parents treat you, but not them. That distinction is important because you don't want to put them in the middle of this fight. Now, while there was a decent amount of this sort of support in the comments, I can't help but give attention to this incredible wall of rambles. You're the a-hole. I have no clue what your dad has actually done to you. That was actual physical or abuse. But you mentioned why you think he doesn't like you. You also described a recent episode where you and him were fighting. You even said things he did, like taking away your phone, your car, or chasing you, etc. I'm sure this is a hard thing to experience. It's especially more difficult at age 17. Now, I'm not here to agree or disagree with you. I'm not going to say that either of you are right or wrong, because I have no clue. When I first read about the things you told us, they do appear to be abusive. They paint your dad as a bad person. But then I realized that you only said things that your dad was doing during the fight. What's not mentioned is examples of actual physical abuse or harm to your body. You don't mention anything that I could see as mental abuse either. Examples of mental abuse would be a constant barrage of insults, accusations taking away the very minimal things that parents are actually legally responsible for, such as food, water, a clean, safe space for sleeping, and at least 2 sets of weather-appropriate clean clothing. Yes, I know this sounds like AI, but honestly, I think the way this slightly broken English is being pronounced, I think this is someone who is genuinely believing all this. Those are the very basics that they must legally provide. That's it. I would think that loving you, teaching you right from wrong, the importance of family relationships, the importance of having strong morals, work ethic, responsibility, and accountability. See, you get what I'm saying. Everything else is extra and a privilege they provide for you, like the car, the phone, the amazing opportunity to go on a cruise that costs $2,000. Now, while it sucks to have things like your phone and car taken away, or being able to not want to take that cruise, in my opinion, you don't come off like great. You just seem to be entitled, spoiled, and just look like a brat. Do you have any idea how many other people would love to have those opportunities? Most people will never be able to afford to spend $10,000 on just one family vacation. Just as a suggestion, it's a good idea to take a breath and relax before any decisions or actions or opening a mouth. At some point in your life, you will need to look at yourself before looking at others. If all of them have a problem with you, then it is more likely that you are the actual problem. There must be reasons for the fights. It takes both sides to have a problem. Now, I'll be honest, I've actually skipped about 25% of this comment because it just goes on. It's incredible to hear a child talk about how their parents clearly mistreat them and make them feel absolutely alienated from the family, and for you to think, clearly it's the child's fault. Now, OP does come back with an edit after these comments. I have a job and I can afford the $2,000, but it would be almost all of my savings for those wondering. I see a lot of people telling me to do a DNA test and confused why there hasn't been one done already. I am sure I am his kid. I hate to say it, but I look exactly like him. I don't know if a DNA test or paternity test has been done already when I was younger. Even if I were to get one done and throw the results in his face, I doubt it would change anything. He would probably deny it. I really think the only reason he has accused it is to further isolate me from my family. I also don't have the means to buy one right now. I am trying to save everything I can to buy my own car. In the future, when I am more stable, I may try and do one just for peace of mind. I know this may not make sense to most of you, but my dad is extremely stubborn. Now, about 2 days pass and we get an update from OP. A lot has happened. First off, I know this sounds fake, but I really need help trying to navigate my situation with my mom. The people around me are trying their best, but I'm still at a loss, and the Reddit community has been extremely helpful so far. So, after reading all of the comments, I decided not to go on the cruise and not to pay my mom any money. I'm currently trying to move all my money into an account my girlfriend is opening up for me. Earlier yesterday morning, I had asked my mom if I could have the day off from school since my girlfriend was going on a trip and I wouldn't see her for a few days. She agreed, nothing out of the ordinary, and said she would let my dad know. To clarify, this is my second absence total. After about an hour of being out of school, my dad texted me a threatening message. When I talked to my mum about it, she told me she never gave me permission to skip school. I do have the text messages to prove she did. Well, around 30 minutes later, the cops showed up at my girlfriend's house because my dad had reported me for truancy. Obviously, this is not true. I talked to the cops while my girlfriend stayed inside since I didn't want to get her involved. It was nerve-wracking as hell. Now, he pretty much said I was fine and that I had done nothing wrong. Just make sure I'm not missing too many days in a row. I guess word got back to my dad that the cops did nothing, and that really pissed him off. So he reported me for stealing his car. I found this out from my mom and immediately called the police station and letting them know I was returning it and I had no intention of stealing it since my dad had previously given me permission to use it. The cop I spoke with just told me to return it and take video and picture evidence of it there. I'm angry and I'm totally done with my parents. They have threatened cops on me numerous times before, but actually calling them? Yeah, no. Oh, and get this? My mom is still trying to convince me to go on this cruise. Apparently, it's now just a 3-day one. Obviously, I'm not going. My issue right now is my mom is threatening to call the police on me to bring me back home. I've been staying with my girlfriend and her family, and I feel incredibly loved and supported. I don't want to leave them. I've been extremely stressed and anxious about the thought of having to go back home. My dad doesn't even want me there, but my mom is threatening to report me as a runaway in order to bring me home. I am still 17, and legally, I'm not allowed to move out against my parents' wishes. I contacted a lawyer yesterday night to discuss possibly being emancipated. The lawyer messaged back today saying that he thinks I have a case and is willing to work with me. My mum told me by the end of this week, she will have a new place for us to move into. I feel like it's a blatant lie since she is going on a cruise at that time. Since I don't have a car anymore, my girlfriend and my girlfriend's mum have offered to take me to school and work. I would also like to mention, since I've been living with my girlfriend, my family hasn't supported me in any way. Another issue I'm having is I have not responded to any messages my mum has sent. I forgot to include, but after they reported the car, they also shut off my phone. I ordered a new one that should be coming in a few days, thankfully. My girlfriend is on her trip right now, and my mum has been spamming her phone with messages trying to reach me, same with my girlfriend's mum. I have no intention of talking to her. She has blamed every problem on my dad and has refused to hold herself accountable for anything. I am tired, confused, and I don't know what the next steps I should take are. So yes, do tell us, person from the previous story, how much is OP the a-hole in this situation compared to the parents? I'm so curious. Reading some actually supportive comments. The fact your parents called the police on you twice and they have documented that your parents are trying to use the police to get their way, while you're calmly explaining that you're just trying to find some space, even if they do call about you being a runaway, the cops will see you're safe, see your contact with an emancipation lawyer, and see how they've previously been called for BS, and they're very likely not going to put you back into harm's way. I'm not a lawyer, but it makes sense. Opie responding, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm calling the police station today, though, to try and get more clarification on whether or not they will take me back home if my parents do end up calling. Now, Opie's actually in a bit of a predicament now due to Opie's girlfriend's parents. Replying to another comment that everything happened so fast, I'm still trying to process it, my girlfriend's parents didn't feel comfortable having me there after the cops are called without me taking legal action to be emancipated. Then going to ask what is considered a local community center, likely because Opie is maybe being encouraged to leave his girlfriend's place. Which you might think is kind of rude of these parents to just encourage this kid to live on the streets. But as comments point out, don't be upset at the parents, OP. They have a right to be concerned. Your parents could get them into a lot of trouble. Get in touch with a social worker and see what options you have, and maybe the social worker can help you temporarily place you with your girlfriend's family. And it's a good point, because the thing is, until OP is able to cement this whole emancipation thing, the girlfriend's parents could be considered part of an issue of, possibly encouraging this young boy to be kidnapped by them. Now, I'm sure there's more technical legal jargon for it all, but the point is, they're not encouraging OP to leave because they don't want to deal with him, they're encouraging him to leave because they legally could get in trouble themselves. So, 5 days pass, and it's just today that we get an update from OP for the second time. Hey all, before I jump into the mess, my life has been, well, I want to thank you all for the resources, advice, and kind words you all have provided. I, no joke, have read every single comment, even the harsh ones calling me entitled to try and take into consideration every perspective. To those calling my story fake, I kinda get it. This has always just been my life, so for me, it's almost been normalized. I would like to clarify a few things quickly. I have a job and was able to afford the $2,000. I haven't mentioned the $2,000 because my mom hasn't mentioned it. I guess she was bluffing. When my dad kicked me out, he took my truck and phone, but my mom gave them both back the next day. Since it was then reported stolen, I returned the truck. My mom has tried to make me take it back, but I don't want to have to deal with the threat of having it taken away or reported stolen again. I live in a small town, cops show up when called, not a lot of crime here. My mum's side of family went no contact with my mum a few years ago. I have a good relationship with them, but they live many states away. My dad's side of the family is on my dad's side. I also just turned 17, so I have a full year until I'm 18. Firstly, for those wondering, my mum did actually go on a cruise. I low-key thought the cruise was made up, but I guess not. My mum returned from her cruise yesterday. I haven't spoken to her at all. She has been spamming my girlfriend's and girlfriend's mum's phone with messages trying to reach me. After she got off her cruise, she said if I didn't speak with her, she was going to report me as a runaway and charge my girlfriend's family with hiding me. Honestly, I was really over it, so I just set up a meeting with her that night. We met at a public place, and I recorded the entire conversation. It was 6 hours long, and we were there really late. I still feel so mentally exhausted. I'll try and give you the highlights. 1. She said she would continue spamming my girlfriend and her mom, and she didn't care if it bothered them. She said I was pro-self-deletion and that I needed to start Prozac. She kept trying to make me say that I had a good life with her and that she was a good mum to me. She said my girlfriend was the problem and that I'm giving up everything for some girl. She continuously defended my dad whenever I brought up something he did. 6. She said she was going to call the cops on me for ignoring her. I told her I had finals this week and didn't want to move during finals, and she said she didn't care if I failed. She said I was failing. I have a high GPA, honors, APs, straight A's. She said that when I move back in with her, I'm not allowed to see my girlfriend anymore. So, yeah, I got on recording of her saying my dad kicked me out and how he pushed her and chased me. I was able to get a lot of evidence. She said that we were moving into a trailer in a few days and that she is signing the lease tomorrow. I guess she has a realtor friend that is able to expedite the moving, but she also said that for the last weekend, so I don't know how true that is. I met with my lawyer earlier today, and he said he will begin filing the paperwork. I'm just having to get it all signed. While I was out meeting with my lawyer, my mom actually showed up at my girlfriend's house trying to find me. They didn't talk to her or anything and just kept the doors locked. I just feel so embarrassed by her. I called the police station as well, and they said if my mom does call and report me as a runaway, they legally have to take me back. So that sucks. I tried calling CPS, but the automated voice said I had called past their hours. Right now, I'm kinda in limbo, just waiting to see if my mom gets a place and forces me to go there. Some of my friends have also been saying if my mum gets a place, I should move in with her since she left my dad for me. I still don't forgive her, though, for lying or siding with my dad. I feel like she has been complicit in everything, but now I'm wondering if I'm just being childish about it. I know moving and leaving an abusive partner is hard, but I also feel like our relationship has hit a point of no return. The only ways she has tried to get me to come back is with threats or bribes. I also feel so much doubt for trying to be emancipated because my situation isn't that bad compared to others. maybe the problem is really just my dad and not my mum. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to move back in with her at all? Should I try to work things out, and how? I feel so conflicted. Okay, so there's a lot of moving parts now in this update, which gets some people in the comments to say, okay, I have a question. Do you have solid evidence that you or your siblings are in danger if you are living with her and your father? I know it's a small town, but if you can prove that they are a calculated risk, they can't force you to go back. Also, I think it would be good for you to at least try to contact your mother's side in some way. They are states away, but any help from them as a witness is at least more help. And Opie says, so maybe this was not very smart of me, but I did forget to include this. While my mum was on her cruise, me and my girlfriend drove over to my mum's side of the family, like a 12-hour drive, and stayed with them for a day. They live in a very sought-out tourist area, so we had a bunch of fun. But yeah, I talked to my aunts and uncles about everything. They have never liked my dad. One of my uncles did tell me he thinks I should try and mend things with my mom. They were supportive otherwise, and that felt good. To your other question, I don't really have any evidence of immediate danger. My parents have always been pretty good to my 2 other siblings. Others not convinced though, how the hell are you paying for this lawyer and have so much money at 17, but your mum goes on cruises but can only afford a trailer? What? And Opie responds here saying, my lawyer was really sympathetic to my situation and agreed to let me pay his retainer fee at a much lower cost. I worked a lot over summer and just saved. I don't spend any money except for on my girlfriend. So with that final information, where do you stand? Is OP an a-hole to not move in with their mother who's trying to escape their abusive partner? After all, yes, she clearly is doing this for OP, since allegedly the other 2 siblings aren't dealing with this sort of behavior from the father. She's trying to give her son a space of safety that is also still with family. But it is hard to really think that, considering how much the mother here just behaves like the father, just without the physical abuse, or at least without the physical aggression. By how often she seems to defend the father's actions, is she really trying to leave him? Or is she just trying to appease both sides as much as she can by having a second place for the son to live, but also still wanting to be with the man who clearly doesn't respect his existence? Still, let me know what you think. Sounds like this might not be the full end of the story, but I'll keep my eyes and ears peeled for any updates coming up. In the meantime, you be good yourself, love your face, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.